Okay, welcome to this video. This is still Chukwusima. So in this video, we are going to be learning about complex formula. Now, complex formula, what are they and how do you apply it? That is what we are going to be covering in this video. So what is complex formula? Complex formula is simply a formula that contains more than one mathematical operations. Earlier on, we talked about simple formula. Simple formula is known to contain only a single mathematical operation, but complex formula can have more than one mathematical operation. Example is something like this. Okay, you can have something as simple as probably two mathematical operation to something as complex as this. Okay, so that is actually what complex formula are. So I'm going to show you how to do this in a practical Google Sheets environment. But first of all, we need to understand how to use complex formula. That is what is known as order of operation. The essence of understanding this order of operation is because when working with Excel, in most cases, nobody is going to give you formula. In most cases, when working with data, you are going to be the one to create the formula for yourself based on the data you have created, based on the data you want to apply formula on. You are going to be the one that is going to craft the formula based on yourself. So you need to understand the order of operation to be able to be successful working with complex formula. And there is order of operation when a spreadsheet like Google Sheet tries to apply complex formula, and it's known as PEMDAX. So this PEMDAX is just abbreviation of some of these mathematical operations we have highlighted earlier. Okay, the P stands for parentheses, the E stands for exponential, M stands for multiplication, D stands for division, A stands for addition, S stands for subtraction. But the PEMDAX here is all about telling you that if you impute complex formula in Google Sheets or in any spreadsheet application, it's going to follow this formula, it's going to follow this order. So it's going to first of all calculate every formula that is in parentheses, that is in your close and open bracket. Then after it has done that, it's going to go over and calculate the exponentials, any raised to power formulas you have. Is going, after it has calculated the parentheses, it's going to calculate the exponentials. After the exponentials is calculated, it's going to now do multiplication or division. Now multiplication or division are in the same level. What this means is that if you have formula that contains multiplication and division, it's going to, from the left hand side, anyone that comes first is going to do it first, then now do the other one second. So if you have multiplication and division, and multiplication comes first from the left hand side, multiplication is going to be first of all calculated, then division is going to be calculated. The same thing with addition and subtraction. So for you here, if you are creating formula, it's for you to follow these rules, then or arrange your formula in a way that is going to actually that Excel is going to follow it and give you accurate answer. That is actually the essence of knowing about the PEMDAX. So you can actually memorize this PMDAS. This is actually the formula to follow through when crafting complex formula. So if you use this, putting this PEMDAX into consideration and actually solving this complex formula, if we are to solve this complex formula following the order of operation PEMDAX, this is also how it's going to be. Okay, first of all, we are going to solve the one in open bracket, and if we do that, it's going to be 6 minus 6. We are going to get our answer, which is 4, right? So in this scenario, we are going to, the open bracket and close bracket is solved, so we are going to be having 10 divided by 4 times 8 raised to power this and all that. So in the next, in our following our order of operation, the next order of operation is exponentials. If you look at the exponential, it's going to be 8 raised to power 2, and if we do that, we are going to be getting 64. So we are going to replace our 8 raised to power 2 to our answer, which is 64. So in the next order of operation, here it says it's multiplications and division. If you look at our formula, we have our division comes first. So we are going to do division, right? Which is going to be 10 divided by 4. If you do 10 divided by 4, you're going to get 2.5. So we are going to replace it in this formula, which is going to be 2.5 times 64. So in the next order of operation, what comes first? Multiplication. So we are going to do multiplication. 2.5 times 64. We are going to get 60. So if you put 60 into our formula back, we're going to get 60 minus 1. And in the next order of operation, what comes next? There is no addition. What we have here is subtraction. If you do subtraction, 60 minus 2, you are going to get 158 as your final answer. If we put this complex formula in our Google Sheets cell to calculate, so we're also going to get this same final answer here. Okay, so this is just an example. There are different ways you can put up complex formula to get your answer. You probably might not be doing with this kind of formula, but this is just to show you how the order of operation is always followed when working in complex formula. So let's go to our Google Sheet to learn how to apply formula in live situations. So I'm going to just copy this because I'm going to show you that even though we put this formula in there, we are going to still arrive at this same answer here. So let's go to our Google Sheet. So for example, look at what I said. If I should paste that formula into any of these cells here and press enter, we are going to get our answer. It's going to calculate through this formula and we are going to get the same answer we did when we did it manually. Okay, so there are different situations you can apply the complex formula. It might not be that complex. It can just be a simple having two formulas. I mean, it can just be your formulas having two mathematical operations. It can just be your formula having 3 mathematical operations. So it must not be this complex. Okay, so a situation we can apply complex formula here is to get our selling price. So let's say we'll apply selling our profit margin to this cost per unit, and also let's say we apply tax rate to this cost per unit. We can do this, apply complex formula to be able to arrive at our selling price, whereby in every day we don't have to actually be doing the calculation manually. Okay, so let's say for example we have tax rates, and here we have profit margin. So our tax rate, let's say our tax rate is 1.5. I use the percentage. And let's say also our profit margin, what could we maintain? So let's maintain 40% for our profit margin. So in this case now we can apply complex formula to get this. How are we going to do that? So what are we going to do? We are going to say we are going to first of all calculate 7% of our cost per unit. We also calculate 40% of cost per unit. Then we'll now add the cost per unit. 7% is going to be 7% of cost per unit plus 40% of cost per unit plus our cost per unit. That will give us our selling price. So how do we impute this formula? Let's go there. So we say equal to, right? Sorry, H3 times 7. We'll add our plus sign. We say again H3 times 4. Okay, what else? We add our plus sign again and say H3. This is our formula. So if we strike enter now, we are going to get our answer. But in this case, you need to be careful here. The best way to apply this kind of formula is to group all the ones that you want to come first into bracket. For example, in this case now, I can just apply open bracket here and close bracket here. This makes the formula more organized because it shows that, okay, first of all, work on this one. First of all, also work on this one. Then add this. So this is going to give us our correct answer. Now, do you see how we have applied complex formula to get this answer? Now, the rule to being successful with complex formula is to keep the order of operation in mind, the PMD and AX in mind. So also use that order to create your formula. If you know any formula that you think, if you know any of the operation that you think that should come first that should be calculated first in your formula, you group it into parentheses. Then you structure it. If you want addition to come before subtraction, you put it first from the left hand side. If you want division to come before if you want multiplication to come before division, you put it first from the left hand side. Okay, so that is basically it. So you can do complex calculation, even the manual one we did here. You can do complex equal to 2 times 3 plus 4 plus 5 minus 4 is going to give you answer. Okay, all these things are just it's going to follow the rules and give you answer. But if the order of operation is not calculated, if you are hoping to get a specific answer, if you are hoping to get an answer, then you need to be concerned about how you arrange it. But in this case now, what is going to happen here is that multiplication is going to happen first, then addition is going to happen, then subtraction is going to happen. That is just how it's going to follow through to get this answer. Okay, so that is basically it about complex formula. We can apply our formula here because our data is out of range. So if you apply like the relative referencing here, it's going to be wrong. If you look at it now, you see that the cell reference here is referencing H11. Okay, H11 is this column. There is no even data here. If you come here, it's going to be referencing H12. H12 is this column here. There is no data here. This is actually the idea of relative referencing. That is actually how it works. It's going to try to pick out the next data in the data you are referencing and try to apply the same formula to it. In this case, there is no data here. There is no margin to it. So there is a way to deal with this, and I'm going to share it with you in the next video. Okay, how you can actually reference data that are out of range. Okay, data that are out of range, how do you reference them to make them constant in your formulas? We are going to be looking at that in the next video. But that is basically it about complex formula. And I want you to go over an experiment. Okay, try to apply your complex formula with your data. You can create your own data and create your own formula, a formula that contains more than one mathematical operation, and learn how all these things work with a first-hand experience. Okay, that is actually how you can get to become better with these formulas and the spreadsheet environment as a whole. Okay, so go over and try, and I will see you in the next one.